Sing it, TJ. Nope. All right,
Worst
then.
Christmas song.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah. The last time we were all in this room together.
Yeah. Have you ever dressed up as Santa?
Oh, yeah.
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 You'd be a good Santa.
Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, you just.
Oh, well, yeah,
a big
why,
guy.
John?
Yeah, no, big guy. Yeah, I've dressed up as Santa before because of your personality.
You're so jolly.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to add any padding.
Why? Yeah, okay. I would say that. It's like when people look at you as an offensive lineman and sometimes they'll be like, man, you look like you could still play. And I'm like, that's not really a compliment.
Right, yeah.
Like if I was like a linebacker or a tight end, I'd be like, thanks, man. Like, hell yeah. Still
Right, yeah. I look like I'm athletic and strong.
I'm still big. I'm still big. Yeah, I know. Thanks.
Never thought of that. That's great. TJ Lang in studio. We got open lines. You got questions. You got comments. The Lions season is officially over. They beat the Chicago Bears. How did that leave you feeling? Were you happy because, hey, man, better to win than lose? Happy because you beat a division rival? Happy because you ended on a winning record, whatever? If you felt happy about it, let us know. If you were angry or frustrated because, of course, that's how they play once they're eliminated. If you're mad because it hurt the draft position. If you were just left watching that game feeling kind of hollow, like that was me. I felt hollow. They won the game, but it didn't do anything for me. It was too little too late. And the time to prove that you're tough and gritty was weeks ago, right? Beating Ben Jansen doesn't hold the same level of satisfaction when they're still playing and our season's over.
Yeah, to me it was, as I said earlier, it was a sour win. You're going to play the game. You're going to keep score. Somebody's going to win and lose. I'm always in the mindset, I would rather win. I don't care about draft position. I just want to win the damn game. But when it's all done, it's a sour win because it didn't mean anything. You weren't playing for a shot to get in the playoffs. It just was, you were playing it because it was the 17th game on the schedule.
And look, I wanted the draft position because that's tangible. That's something that can give Brad a boost. The last couple drafts have not been his best. At the same time, I don't want the players to lay down. I don't want the coaches to turn off the competitive juices. I'm happy they went out and played hard. I'm not mad that they won, but that feeling, that warm, fuzzy feeling of winning didn't exist for me. And now they're picking 17 instead of 13 or 14. And they need all the help they can get because it's a big offseason.
It is a big offseason. And there's going to be a lot of decisions they've got to make about their roster, guys that are going to be here, guys that won't be here. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with the offensive line, how they're going to, patch together the secondary. What are their expectations for Kirby Joseph? When will Brian Branch be back? DJ Reed's under contract. How do you get him to play better throughout the course of an entire season? I know he was hurt. He was never the same player for the rest of the season. Amik Robertson, what are the plans for him? There are plenty of questions that they've got to find answers to.
Yeah, and I see both sides. I mean, of course, all of us as fans, would we like the 13th pick over the 18th pick, whatever it might be? Like, yeah, of course. But those guys don't care.
No, they shouldn't care. And they shouldn't care.
John, you remember being a player. Like, you never once cared about the draft.
Right.
Like, let me help lose to get better draft position so you guys can pick potentially my replacement. Like, nobody cares about that.
No, of course a player shouldn't ever worry about that.
But I'm not mad at either side. Like, I'm kind of with you guys. It was like, it didn't feel like a typical win, but still, like, those guys battled, man. Like, you know how tough this is. And I don't know. Things don't roll over season to season. Like, that. The season's so spread out. You're not going to go into next year, with momentum because you beat Chicago. But maybe just a reminder and it's more bummed than anything about really how close this team could have been. I think that was a big bummer.
If they beat Minnesota, who threw for net 3 yards on Christmas Day, very different feeling beating Chicago at Soldier Field in Week 18. If they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a pathetic offense, it somehow rolled up 500 yards against Detroit. That would have meant so much more. And I guess I was watching it with what could have been on the brain the entire time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were. And, I think that it's also a stark reminder for a lot of those guys in the building how quickly things can change, and how quickly things can get away from you, whether that's a season, whether that's a game, whether that's, this one play, right, really changed the outlook of the rest of the season, whatever that may be. I think that it's a reminder. And then you have games like yesterday, and that's also a reminder of it's frustrating because it's like we could have done this.
Yeah.
We did have the players to do it, but it's just a reminder that you can't take any team lightly.
How big a deal is? So I mentioned the draft position. They don't move up, they win the game, but they finished last in the division with a winning record. It's kind of a bizarro situation where the entire North was above water, the entire South was below 500. Weird way the NFL schedule played out. But the Lions will now have a last place schedule for next season. How big a deal is it? Like, clearly it's not enough to just play bad teams. You also have to have a good offseason and play better football.
Yeah.
But next season, they're going to play the Jets, Giants, Titans, Cardinals, Saints, Falcons. That's a far cry from the murderer's row this year. And if it's a couple game difference, well, it could be the difference of this team getting in or being a team with home field in the postseason.
Right. Then next year we have to do all the radio. Well, it was an easy schedule. They made it, but it's an easy schedule. They won the division, but it was a last place schedule.
John, you're right. And you're absolutely spot on, but I'd rather be doing those shows with a playoff team than this year. We wanted all the smoke. We had the tough games, and they got taught a tough lesson.
Yeah, well, look at, the difference is look at, Chicago.
They played the Saints and the Raiders this year.
Yeah, and, the Giants, they played the
we played the Giants too, but
But it's
those couple games.
It's a couple games, man. And what was the difference in this?
Couple games.
So, but and here's the thing, too, though, is there's some of those teams, there's teams every year that, go from last to first. I mean, obviously, Chicago, prime example. So you can't really look at the teams you're playing next year and going like, oh, at least we got these guys, because there's going to be some of them that are going to be maybe challenging for their division, right? Teams are just different. Now, do I expect, the Titans and the Jets and
Cardinals?
Probably not, like they're kind of in
2 or 3 should be bad.
But but teams change. So you can't, I was never a believer of like, oh, at least we get to play these guys. Well,
again, as a player, I wouldn't expect you to look down on an opponent. Like, you can't afford to do stuff like that.
Yeah, but it does make a difference when, like you mentioned, winning some of those close games, and difference between being 11 and 9 wins, right? We just got a prime example of that with Chicago.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Decker stuff? Like, we played audio earlier, and we can play it again for people, but just maybe we should play it for people here so they get a sense and then let TJ respond to it. Greg, it's 2 cuts. They're about 40 seconds each. Let's play cut number 1, Taylor Decker postgame. Before we play the second clip, that level of maintenance on your body, is that typical? Or is that atypical?
I think especially when you're in year 10.
Yeah, it's pretty typical.
It takes a lot, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to get my knee drained twice a week.
Oh, wow.
Just to be able to get on the plane, and then you got to wear, the compression just to keep the swelling from coming back.
Yeah. And that's not to say that, Decker's just doing the same thing everybody else, but because it does, he did like a lot of things. But, and even I would say today with all the different treatment resources, like it's just totally different than even when I was playing 10 years ago. The different tools that these guys have to try to speed up that recovery.
The second clip is the one that's getting more response, and we'll just play it and go from there. You hate that he says he's selfish.
Yeah, it was selfish. It's not selfish of him. He was taking care of himself as he needed to go out there and perform his job.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of sacrifices that people make, that families make for the breadwinner to go out there and do their job. I hate it that he feels that way. I understand it, because you don't want to have your entire family, especially your wife, who's the one that's taking care of the kids, taking care of you, doing all these things. You don't want them to have to go through it. But it's not being selfish of him.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I was kind of in the same boat with Taylor. With once it starts to, you feel like affect, family, then it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
But I think he's approaching it the right way. He said, "Look, everybody was emotional yesterday, especially him and Skipper and Graham. I'm sure Coach went out of his way a couple times to kind of point those guys out. So I think they know it's a possibility. But I talked to Taylor after the game too with our station interview, and he said I need to take some time, and I don't want to make a rash emotional decision. Then a month from now, I feel completely opposite, and did I make the right decision? So he's doing it the right way, man. Take some time, get away from the game, reset your mind. once you start working out again, maybe in a month, if you're feeling really good, and that's be like, okay, I think I can do this one more. If you're feeling like, this is going to be another grind, then make the decision then.
The backdrop is obviously the Lions are coming off of a season where the offensive line didn't play well enough, and if he doesn't come back, it's yet another position they have to address. So you say he's handling it the right way. Coming up next, we'll get to how the Lions should handle it this offseason. It's 97.1.